This episode of the Unwashed Asses is brought to you by you. Very awesome, super cool, rad, awesome. Said awesome twice because you're that awesome. Person over at patreon.com/0and09, pitching in a buck, keeping dreams alive and things happening. We dipped down, but that's okay. We're in a new year, second year. Things are happening here. But yeah, we need more help. So if not financial, then definitely tell a friend or two about the show. But otherwise, if you do want to contribute, get some prestige, head over to patreon.com/0and09. Transitions are weird. Hard. Gotta slowly bring it down. Bring it down. Easy now. Watch out. Watch out now. We're doing a show. I haven't done a show since Christmas. What are we gonna do? How are we gonna do it? I don't know. It's gonna be a journey. It's gonna be an experience. And it's going to be you staring at my whitewashed face because I got these lights that are making me look very pale and sickly. I also have to apologize because my cunty neighbors that live directly below me have their TV cranked way loud. Now, they usually haven't, I shouldn't say this, for the past month they've been a big pain in the ass, not in terms of confrontations or going down there banging on the door, hey, what's going on, or them coming up here, but they've definitely been playing their TV extra fucking loud every day, all day. From the time my alarm goes off at 6, I'll hear Golden Girls theme music kick off, get some Andy Griffith in there before I walk out the door, and then God knows whatever they are watching now. So they've got a fucking loud-ass TV in their living room and out in the bedroom. So I hear it all the time when I'm home. Like today, MLK Day. Actually, let's back up. Getting ahead of myself here. Welcome to the Unwashed Asses, episode 43, recorded Monday, January 15th, 2018. So back to my shithole neighbors. Yeah, like today, MLK Day, I had the day off, so sitting at home, churned out, 3 episodes of Zero Lives, and just, kind of hanging around, taking things easy, and their TV has been going non-fucking-stop. And I don't get it, like, I say that, I've not watched TV in 20, not 20, but like 15 years. Which, live TV, yeah, true. I don't watch TV. So when I come down and people say, how can you just sit and watch TV when you get home? Is there nothing else that you're doing with your life? Is there not a hobby? Is there not a passion? Is there not something that you're pursuing? How do you just come home, sit on the couch, and spend 3 to 4 hours a night, and that's it? That's all you've got going on. But then myself, I can crank away on YouTube or Twitch and just watch people doing other things, but it's not a traditional medium like TV. But is TV even a traditional medium anymore, where more and more people are going online? You see commercials nowadays advertising television services, and they're saying, oh, well, you can stream to your tablets, your phones, your laptops. You're not stuck watching traditional TV. And I get it, that's the way kids are moving nowadays, but it seems like a concept of, oh no, everybody gathers around the TV in the living room and watches it. We watch some Andy Griffith together, some Flipper. But that's going away. People have TVs in every room of their house, and they're watching them on their tablets and phones and what have you. And it strikes me as, why would you do such a thing in the sense of, making TV readily available? If it's a mobile device, yeah, I understand that. I get that. But there's only the bedroom, at least, my bedroom only serves two purposes. It's for sleeping, it's for fucking. One of the two. I I don't like having a TV in the bedroom. I think it distracts from what should be happening there. Again, sleeping or fucking. I find that by removing non-sexual entertainment from the bedroom, it makes it a lot easier for me to get to sleep, to get a better night's sleep, and the room's focused. It has a purpose, just like the kitchen. Whoa, has a purpose as far as that's where you cook the food, and you got the dining room area because it's an apartment. That's where you eat the food. I was very bad as far as let's all gather around, sit and watch the television together, and we'll eat our dinner. But it's better for everybody involved. Like, okay, let's sit and at the table and have dinner at a regular time together as a family unit, and talk about what's going on. With my son, it focuses him. He actually sits and eats a meal instead of getting distracted by whatever's going on. And then it's all about building structure and regulating and having explicit purpose. And so maybe I'm just old man. Like, you don't want to have a TV in the bedroom. The bedroom's for sleeping and fucking. And the porch, that's where you whittle, and you yell at those kids to get off your yard. But no, today, holiday, had the day off. It was nice, but I found myself lacking structure, and it was getting to me. It was driving me nuts. I was waiting for a video to finish rendering, and I was sitting on the couch playing the new handheld Portal game, the little bridge constructor. Loads of fun. Not sure if it's worth the $5 yet, but I'm definitely enjoying it. But I found myself getting quite sleepy, nodding off, if you will, getting hit in the face by Mr. Sandman's load as he just kind of jerks it into my face. And I realized, oh shit, I gotta get up, I gotta be doing something, otherwise, before you know it, I'm gonna just turn on YouTube on the Xbox and just watch something, fall asleep, and then immediately lose several hours out of my day. And it's a day off. I try to cherish my days off and be productive and make things happen. Like, decided, let's bring Zero Lives back. My schedule's kind of calming down a little bit. I want to be, I want to stream a little bit more. I always enjoyed doing it, especially when we found the idea of, okay, let's do single player games exclusively and do kind of a Mystery Science Theater 3000. We played through Fable 3, had a lot of fun with, or Fable 2, had a lot of fun with that, and then I decided, okay, well, let's do the new Batman Telltale series. Now, I had decided that, last year I was going to do this, and, judging by how late this show is, I've missed 3, this will be week 3, this should be the 3rd episode, this is the first episode of the year for Unwashed Asses. So already I've got a real shit average. So I said, today we got the day off. Let's go ahead and we'll record one big mega marathon and do 3 hours worth of streaming, and then I can edit out 3 episodes and get that posted. And I did. I was super proud. The Batman Telltale game series is a lot of fun. I'm not really a fan of how their games are structured. I struggle with the controls a little bit, and the graphics do weird things from time to time, but it's fun. I enjoy it. It's an enjoyable experience, and it's perfect for what I wanted to do with Zero Lives. But it was just a matter of, once we have it recorded, I have to edit it out and get everything uploaded. So got all that done, and again, I'm falling asleep on the couch, and it's a matter of, okay, I had a clear set goal. Here's what I want to accomplish. I wanted to record and make up Unwashed Asses this morning, do the 3 Zero Lives, and then come and wrap up the night with this. But without having a set dedicated, okay, 9 o'clock, get your ass on the computer, start streaming. Here's your time to edit, and then kind of chop things out and do things through the day. And I didn't do that, so I finished streaming around 2 and was editing and uploading until like 5. So I lost a big chunk of my day by not, having that structure. And I feel that's kind of what's important, is when you do get those days off, or you do have projects or tasks that you want to get completed. Like, I had a customer I talked to recently. She's like, "Oh yeah, we have a good snowstorm that rolled through yesterday and today. Like today, it was a fucking winter wonderland out there. It was gorgeous, just this nice, heavy snowfall. But I didn't have to be anywhere, so I sat at home, watching the snowfall, playing video games. It was perfect." But her deal was, okay, I know a snowstorm is coming, so I'm going to go ahead and plan on doing projects. I'm going to get some crafts done, some hobbies, some whatever the fuck it was she did. But she had a game plan ready to go. She had all of her crafting materials out ready to go. And that's perfect. That's, kind of what I had planned. But it comes down to I need structure, otherwise I start to go stir crazy. I have to have a plan. That's why while I would love to be able to sit at home and stream all day and create content like videos and artwork and write books and whatnot, I'd be kind of shit at it because I'd lack a lot of self-discipline to really sit down and get shit taken care of. I've been using the sticky notes on my computer. Like, okay, you have to draw up this tattoo concept for your sister. You have to, finish writing this short story, and you have to get the monthly sketch up, and record 3 makeup episodes and update the sites, and I get distracted by little side projects. Like, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and then before I know it, it's like, well, you've got 10 fucking little projects going, but nothing's like actually progressing. It's not getting towards completion, and it sits in the stagnated state. I was talking to a friend about this, where it was just that. It's like, I've got a billion different ideas, but I'm not following through on them, and that's what pisses me off the most, because it makes me feel lazy and a little bit hectic, in the sense that, okay, I'm working really hard, but nothing's happening. And I've talked about this in the past, where that irks me the most about people who are they're idea people. They're big thinkers, they don't actually do the work, but they come up with the idea. Or those that are like, oh, I'm going to do this big thing this year, and then they never take the active steps to make it happen. And I'm doing the same thing myself. I'm becoming that hypocrite. So structure, it's key. It's what I need in my life, and fuck it. I'm gonna jump the gun here, but it's why resolutions are dumb. It's why New Year's resolutions fail. I found a video a few years ago that Brian Brushwood put out that covers this topic fairly well. So we're going to go ahead and play that, and we're going to do a little dissertation here.
This game, the show dedicated to social engineering at the bar and on the street. Hello, beautiful people. I'm Brian Brushwood, and this week I bring to you a gift, a secret that all successful people have figured out and all unsuccessful people never quite understand. And that, my friend, is that resolutions are dumb. They're also soft and squishy and get you nowhere, because they're not written down. They're just wishes that you put into the ether. This year I'm going to smoke less. This year I'm going to do more magic. Those words don't mean anything, and they'll get you nothing. If you want to make some magic happen in your life, and I mean the closest thing that exists to real freaking magic, you, my friends, will take advantage of the power of the written goal. I am a huge, huge believer in the power of the written goals. Maybe you got your own system. Maybe your whole life is perfect and you don't want to change anything. Good. Go live in fairy fantasy land and shoot rainbows out of your butt, you jerks. The rest of us have to improve our lot in life by writing down specific goals, and I do mean specific. They need to be very, very clear what it is you're doing. You're not just losing weight, whatever that means. You're going to hit a target number, which brings me to the second part. They have to be quantifiable. Make sure your goals are quantifiable so you either did it or you didn't do it. You know when you hit those numbers or do that achievement or unlock that whatever. And then finally, they have to have a deadline, because otherwise it's just always just out of reach. You're never going to get anything done. Also, I'm a big fan of writing multiple goals down, because if you write just one, to me, you just sort of get obsessed about it. You make it a bigger deal than it necessarily needs to be. Every year, I write down 10 things that I plan to accomplish in the next year. It's great because you got a built-in deadline, and when you write your goals, you want to cover a wide range of topics, from health to fitness to relationships to financial goals, career goals. If you're a student, it could be, achieving certain grade point averages and so on. Whatever it is, you got to be very, very, very specific, because it needs to be dead simple, totally clear. You either did it or you didn't by the end of the year. The most important part for me is that I post them in places where I'm going to see them every single day. I print out 3 copies. I put one in my office, I put one on the mirror in my bathroom, and I put one in the shower. Because think about it, that's the time when people have their best insights. It's when you have no distractions, you're just sitting there in the shower. It's kind of like your brain is in screensaver mode, just killing time. And so this is like the SETI at home, or one of those protein folding programs that comes online and starts thinking about your goals. I mean, they're right there staring you in the face. You can't help but think about them. And you think about, where am I now? How much time do I have to get to this point? What do I need to do in between? You'll find ways to make it happen. And here's the best part. Here's the best secret. If you don't make your goals, it's okay. You're probably farther ahead and closer to them than you would have been if you didn't write them down. Out of my 10 goals from last year, some of them, as I wrote them, seemed utterly preposterous. I think we had 120,000 YouTube subscribers at the beginning of last year, so I wanted to more than double my YouTube numbers, right? How's that going to happen? So I wrote down 250,000 subscribers. Holy crap, the year's not even over yet, and we're over 500,000. When I said I wanted 100,000 Twitter followers, I only had 40,000, and people were publicly mocking me. They're like, "Bit ambitious on those goals, aren't you, Brushwood?" Yes, that's the point. You gotta be ambitious and go out and try. By the way, we blew right past it. We're up to like 140 something now. The point is that when you dream, you believe, and you get excited, and you try, and you need a reminder. You need that sunshine burning through your eyeballs so that you can see what you want and go out there and do it. Otherwise, it's too easy to sit down and just give up and just feel like, oh, I don't know, resolutions are dumb, trying is for losers. I don't want you to be that. I want you to go out and kick some ass, and I want your goals right there in your face staring at you. Just make sure they're specific, quantifiable, and have a deadline, and do a whole bunch of them. That way you diversify your assets, and it's okay if you don't make it. People are like, how do you pick your number? It's like, you just pick it. Who cares? Go out there, kick some ass. I love you guys. Have a fantastic New Year. Got a big show on New Year's Eve. Tell you all about it soon. I love you.
So yeah, resolutions be dumb. Written goals are the way to go. I have tried this method, and it has brought me a measure of success in the past. Have I done it recently? Nope. And you know what? I've stagnated. I've not done anything meaningful. I've not seen any measurable growth. I've not had any success in the areas that I want to, aside from Unwashed Asses. And that came down to just, doing things on the regular basis. And that's kind of what I'm after. It's what I want to do here, in the sense that here's what I want. I want, the podcast to be self-funded. I want to get away from advertising on YouTube. I want to have an audience that interacts and writes in, and we have that two-way conversation. But to make that happen, I have to create a specific set of goals, as far as here's how many followers I want, here's kind of where I want the Patreon to look, here's the activity I'd like to have on Twitter. But the biggest thing is just sitting down and getting the work done. That's where I fail. I always make excuses. And I feel that a lot of us do this, as far as, here's this large thing I want. Like, Perfect example. I want to lose weight. I'd like to be 50 pounds less than what I am. But when it comes to the small day-to-day decisions that ultimately add up and make that big decision, that's where I fail. Like, I always think I'm 230 pounds. I would love to be back at 200 or under. But to make that happen, I need to do several things. One is, cut out pop. No more soft drinks. And then 2, cut out fast food. Just flat out. I mean, even Subway. Just get rid of it. No more eating out, because that's going to accomplish, a couple things. I'm not just living off pure shit any longer. And 2, the bank account's going to get a little bit healthier, so then I can afford to buy better grade foods, make meals at home. More money, less weight, everybody wins. But the problem is that impulse control. Well, shit, I'm hungry. I'm at work. My work involves me driving from place to place, and I'm not always gonna have the ability to go home and make a meal. And it's the middle of winter. Sometimes I want something hot. Fuck it. Culver's is right there. It's got warm food and it's delicious, and I can sit inside and connect to their Wi-Fi. But no, you need to ask yourself, what do I want more? Do I want this butter burger and cheese curds, or do I want to be 40 pounds lighter than what I am now? And it's hard. It is harder than a motherfucker to make that decision that, no, I'm not going to eat this. I'm not going to, shove this shit into my body and just keep getting fatter and poorer. But short term versus long term, that's ultimately how it breaks down. And that's where my biggest problem is. Case in point, we're 2 episodes behind, and I try to make it a rule. If I am running behind on something, or I have makeup work, especially when it comes to streaming or recording anything and then putting it out, don't mention it to the audience. Don't bring up the fact that you're a fucking failure to them, because they're gonna start picking up on that, and then eventually you get dropped like a bad habit. Instead, no, just move on. Don't make empty promises of like, oh, I'm sorry guys, I know I missed 2 episodes. It's not going to happen again. We're going to stick to a schedule. It's like, no, you set, like Brian said, you set the goal and then you follow through with it. And if you end up not following through entirely, that's okay. You get right back on it. Prime example is this show right here. Is I want to have a weekly show out, every Monday night, 9 p.m. Nothing else matters. It drops off the face of the earth. I need to stop and record the show, get it up on SoundCloud, get it in the podcast feeds, get it up on YouTube so you guys can watch if you want to see my handsome face and enjoy it with me. And just by having that dedication and setting aside the time and making it a goal to do it every Monday night at 9 p.m., other things happen because of it. When I had a good run there of doing the show on a regular time slot, saw some pretty good growth in the numbers and the number of downloads, the number of listens. We were entirely funded at one point as far as expenses were concerned. And we were seeing some good engagement. And I stopped. I fell off. I fell into a depression. I got into a funk, and I let it overcome me, and I let little things pop up in my life as far as, oh, well, I have the chance to go out with friends, or we're doing this thing in Warcraft, come play with us. And I would give myself the excuse of, well, you're not the most social person. You should take this excuse to go out and do things with, your friends and cultivate that relationship. Instead, I need to respect myself more in the sense that this is what I want. To make it happen, sacrifices have to be made, but not terrible sacrifices. Like, hey, sorry, I know you'd like me to come over, but I've got a thing I do. I've got a few dozen people that I can't disappoint in the sense that they're looking forward to this episode in their feed. And I know it's not like, oh, it's a big loss, you know, Christian, you're breaking my heart, woe is me, where the fuck is the episode? You know, you don't get angry, you don't get sad, but you lose interest. I do it with webcomics all the time that don't update on a regular basis. It takes nothing for me to save them into my bookmarks and, you know, scroll over and click on it. But I like to prune, and so if things aren't updated on the regular, if I'm not seeing new content, and if it's going weeks and there's weeks or months, more often than not, I just remove them from my bookmarks, and then I never visit the site. I might come back every few months and then read the backlog and then forget about it again. And by not putting shows out on a regular basis, I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm not giving you a reason to come back week after week. You know, it'll come to the point where, oh, you know, I'm trying to free up a little bit of space on my phone or my tablet. Let me go ahead and I'm just going to unsubscribe from the Unwashed Asses, and that's going to, you know, save me an extra 40 megs a week. You know, depending on how many shows you keep stored. And same thing with like YouTube. I'd love to have a bigger YouTube audience. Just, you know, the objective isn't making money, but like I get off on the idea that of having an audience and having people listen to me. It's a power trip. I'll admit it. So seeing numbers like that go up would be fantastic. But when it comes to putting out regular content, I'm fucking terrible at it. And that's the reason that then the numbers stagnate. So there's, you know, that's goal one. That is objective numero uno as far as like production's concerned. You know, get an episode out every week. You know, drive up those metrics, get better engagement. Of course, you know, there's always the ones of like, oh, you know, I need to lose 40 pounds, get shows out on a weekly basis, put more money in the bank, and you know, it's always every new year that everything kind of resets. Like, oh shit, I fell off the wagon. You know, I got sidetracked. But new year, new me. I'm gonna get in on this, and resolutions are nice, but yeah, you have to follow through with them. So I know last year we did kind of a weight loss challenge, but wasn't really any participation. But it's okay. We got a small community here. But I want to see that go up here, and I want to see a little more engagement. So we have a Discord server, the Horror of Casitas Discord. If you head over to our website, Horror of Casitas, it's COCYTUS.com. There's a link over to the Discord. You can go ahead and join in. Everybody's welcome. There is a Get Fit subcategory in there that, you know, we can kind of track and motivate and keep everybody active in there. And we can set those goals or competitions. You know, it could even be a thing of, you know, whoever is, you know, based on metrics, lost the most weight that month. Fuck it, I'll throw you a free game code. Go ahead, join the Discord, sign on up. We'll track our losses together, and then if you end up being the one who's lost the most weight, fuck it, I will throw you a free game on Steam or Origin. You know, 'cause I've got codes sitting around. I don't do anything with them. And no reason you can't get in on that. I gotta mute this. Gotta mute that. You don't need to be hearing that. It's bad enough you're hearing my neighbors. So let's do that. Let's do that where go ahead, write out a list of goals. What it is you want to accomplish this year. Send it into the show, theunwashedasses@gmail.com. We can stack this up. We can help one another. We can make shit happen. You guys made this happen as far as getting us awarded for, nominated for a podcast award. Hitting certain goals on the old Patreon there. There's nothing we can't fucking do if we don't put our minds to it. And that is the key, is is making sure we have our eyes on the prize. And every now and then it does. It requires a little outside motivation, and ultimately that's what I want to foster with the old HFC. There is a community that supports one another. Don't necessarily have to be best friends, but if you're looking for somebody to play a game with, you're looking for somebody to say, hey, I ran 3 miles today, how about you? Well, shit, I was a lazy piece of fucking ass. Thank you for shaming me or making me feel guilty or giving me that spark of encouragement. Like, it's okay. It's 6 o'clock. Go out, put in a half hour real quick, just running. It doesn't have to be 3 miles. Just get out, exercise. And then, together we succeed. We come together like a family, and we make shit happen. Oh, man, that was a long first segment. So I was playing a lot of Bloodborne. I wrapped up, I think I told you guys, I wrapped up Nier Automata. And took it as an opportunity. Okay, let's move on to the next game I got sitting in the old PS4 library. Get things cranking there, and just dove headfirst back into Bloodborne. Started updating the YouTube page with the boss fights that I was encountering. Streaming a lot on Twitch and getting some good tips and pointers from the audience and having a lot of fun with it. I actually surpassed where I was on my first run through. Found a lot more stuff, digging really into the lore. Found an analysis by a fella calling himself Redgrave on the fucking Bloodborne subreddit. Somebody had posted a link to, he wrote it's like a 100-page Google Doc breaking down the lore of Bloodborne itself, essentially the history, what's going on in the game, why are the characters that you encounter there, what's their motivations, because if you listen to this show, you know how much I love me some Bloodborne, and that the game itself doesn't necessarily expound upon its lore willingly. It gives you bits and pieces. It's a puzzle. You got to put it together, and it can be confusing because there's never been one definitive, reliable source as far as here's what's happening. It's all theories and conjecture, and unless you've played the game obsessively or have lived on the subreddit and kind of pieced it together on your own, it's easy to misconstrue several ideas, get it confused, and just overall have not the clearest picture of what's going on. So Redgrave breaks a lot of it down. It was I couldn't put it down. It was a fantastic read. Now, the way it's structured is that he will, it's kind of like a history lesson. So here's the earliest period in Bloodborne's lore. We're going to work our way forward. We're going to, talk about the locations, the groups involved, the people involved with the groups, so on and so forth. And then kind of get into more of the abstract theories out there. And the way it's broken down is he'll present all the evidence that's found in the game. So this is the factual content. This is the stuff we can't necessarily dispute. Here's how it's presented to us. And then for the second half of that section, he will go ahead and then list his theories. And it's done in a way that's very, it makes a lot of sense. But there are a few points where he does contradict himself. And then there are some theories that I disagree with. Case in point with the doll being a great one that is working against the other great ones that have been identified to us, when in fact the doll was just brought to life by the Blood Moon Great One as a reward to Gurman for using him to keep the hunter's dream going. It's a one or the other. It can't be both. Now, it's an interesting theory, but if you think about it too hard, then the other one starts to break down. So I'd say if you're interested in the Bloodborne lore, it's a fantastic read. It puts a lot of stuff in perspective and clears up a lot of confusion. But don't be afraid to come up with your own ideas or theories as for what's going on or why things are happening the way they are in the game. But it did give me a much clearer picture as far as everything. That was my biggest problem, was that there's so much going on. It's easy to fall down rabbit holes and get kind of lost or tracked on one thing, and there's different terms and whatnot that are unique to the game, and so it's easy to get kin and great ones, and just get shit confused essentially. But I'll see. I'll put a link in the show notes to that for anyone that's interested. I also put it up in the Discord as well. I'm gonna be pushing that hard. I'd like to see it grow. We actually have started. So the nice thing about Discord is that you can attach these bots to it that do different things. Like I have one for Destiny that will track, kill death ratio, stats about your character, a lot of stuff like that. But there's another one called RPG bot that I recently installed. I wanted to do kind of like a lottery system where people could essentially get a lottery ticket within the Discord and get like prizes, like games, whatever. It doesn't matter. And I found this RPG bot that I installed onto the server, and it's capable of facilitating like a full-blown D&D campaign. Now, Woody's been trying for years now to get like an email D&D campaign going. We've tried like Firefly, we've tried his own concoctions, we've tried D&D, and for one reason or another, it almost always fizzles out, and it's hard to keep kind of like an email campaign going because you don't have that regular, okay, well, we meet up Fridays at 9 and we run through this session. It's not something that's live. Everybody has to write in. Then he kind of has to decide what happens. Whereas a Discord server, it can be running 24/7. You've got it on your computer. You can throw it up on your tablet. You've got your phone. It's easy to pull up messages. And then what this bot does is it will go ahead and actively track stats like, what level's your character, what's in their inventory. It will roll dice for you. There's a ton of crap in there. And so we recently have started our own little campaign in the game. Mezzafesto has been he's taken it upon himself to learn the various commands of the bot. He spent like the bulk of the day today adding inventory to the game and then assigning it to characters. So it's fun to see new things kind of pop up in the community like this. Just happenstance. It wasn't intentional. It's like, okay, I wanted this bot for this one purpose, and now it's grown into this other thing, and I couldn't be happier. It's things like this that were the reason for the inspiration for me to start a guild back in 2006 and with my friends and try and grow it and develop it and keep things happening and alive. And look at us, fucking 12 years later. We don't have a lot of people in it, but we're still having fun. And, we've added members over the years where it's small, it's tight-knit, but we get to do fun things like that. So, again, head over to the website. I'll put links up in the show notes and all that. And it'll be fun. But no, I was playing a lot of Bloodborne, and then because this entire show is about being sidetracked. Fucking Warcraft came back into my life. Now, I have not played WoW for several months. I think October-ish I quit playing. And the little lady, she's like, oh, I'm kind of missing it. I'd like to go back and play. And like, okay, well, I'll think about it type of deal. I don't necessarily want to get drawn back into it. I've got plenty of games to play now that I'm having a great time with. And WoW's a time sink, and on top of that, we're so far behind in the content. You know, like I had hit 110 on a couple of characters, but I hadn't even unlocked world quests. And they've released several patches and 2 new zones on top of that. I don't have flying yet. It's going to be a pain in the ass to get caught up. I don't necessarily want to deal with that. And then fucking Mezzafesto is like, oh, yeah, well, we started playing again. And I told him what server we were on, because we were on a PvP server before, and then I switched over to a PvE when I was playing solo. So he and his wife rolled up new characters on the new server. Like, well, shit, now I've got to play. So roll up a character. Girlfriend gets in on it as well, and I'm hooked. I'm back in, and it's largely due to the catch-up mechanics in the game. It's a mix of one, having the people to play with now. Like Mezzy's still trying to get caught up, and we got the little lady up to 110 finally, trying to unlock world quests for her. But having clear-cut objectives is what works for me. So I was able to get the rest of the zone quests done and get up to that friendly reputation to unlock world quests. All of a sudden the game goes from being a tedious grind to, oh shit, here's awesome mode, because now I'm getting tangible rewards. I can pick what I do, and my progression is going that much quicker. Like, you know, give you an example. 8 days ago my character was at like 806 item score. Now he's sitting at 893. That's all due to catch-up mechanics, as far as the requirements to get world quests dropped, and then everything scales, so more artifact power, my weapon gets leveled up a lot faster, makes the game easier to play. Once I get the world quests, it's just boom, boom, boom. Those have better and better and better rewards that, you know, over the course of like 24 hours is where I made the bulk of that progress. Then I get a friend from work who's like, hey, you know, here's what you need to do. Take his advice, go ahead and crank some of that stuff out. It's like, oh, we're running Mythic Dungeons now. Well, what the fuck's a Mythic Dungeon? It's a dungeon that's harder than Heroic. Well, shit, Heroics scare me, but if you're going to carry me, fuck it. You know, we'll give it a whirl. And over the course of running 4 of those dungeons, just like Goku, power level rises exponentially. I get stronger, and I'm able to help, and it's fun. It's awesome. I'm getting into it, and it's to the point where it's like, I want people to play with. You know, I want more friends, you know, logged in. I want to do things like the Mythic Dungeons. I want to give the raid a shot, and I feel guilty, or I have trepidation about it, because the last time I recommended something so wholeheartedly to people was Destiny 2, and we all saw kind of what a shit show that turned out to be. And WoW is one of those things where it's addictive. You get into it, and there's nothing else you want to do, like in terms of game. It's honestly the reason a couple of these, at least one of these shows didn't happen, is because we were on playing, and it's like, okay, well, I'll just postpone the show. I'll do it once we get off. And, you know, 10:30 rolls around, we're done playing. It's like, I don't want to do the show now. And that is, it's dangerous. It is really fucking dangerous, especially for me, because like today I had a day off from work. What did I want to do all day? Wanted to sit and play fucking World of Warcraft all day long, because I had these clear objectives. I had these zones. I had this stuff that I could work on. And kind of like a Skinner box, I'd hit the button, or I'd chase that carrot enough that I'd get a treat. I'd get incentive, like, oh, you got a reward. And I was getting rewards so frequently that it's like, well, I could log in for 5 minutes. I could play. You know, there's this little thing that I could do. And like I'm thinking now, like, oh, you know, when I'm uploading recordings and whatnot and doing the audio for tonight's show, I could log into WoW. I could play, but I can't. I have to say no more tonight. Mostly because, you know, I'm playing on my laptop, and Windows 10 likes to update drivers with what it thinks is correct, and it's not. So I get frequent audio crashes. So even if I turn off the audio in WoW, there's a chance I'll get an audio dump, and then my recording gets hosed. And I've wasted all that time then. And instead of just having the self-control, the do I want this Big Mac and fries, or do I want a podcast with a bigger audience? I want the podcast with a bigger audience. So I've got to say, no more Warcraft tonight. I got a few hours in today, but I need to put it down. If I'm still awake and cohesive enough, I will go ahead and maybe fire it up, do a world quest or two before going to bed, but only after the sites are updated and all that. It's that self-control, it's that discipline. Because without that, I'm a useless fat piece of shit who just contributes nothing to society and is nothing but a disappointment to everybody he knows. Oh man, not fun. I love me some Portal. But I'm also feeling like pretty nostalgic right now, and that's a good part of why I've been so depressed. I know everybody gets that, where a memory or two creeps up and it makes you sad, brings a little bit of that melancholy, that bittersweetness into play, and it fucks with me. And Portal is like a direct link to, hey, who wants to relive some bad fucking memories? I do. Sign me right the fuck up. But it's part of that, not the healing process, but it's a matter of accepting and moving on and coming to terms with how things are. Even this show dredges that shit back up because of where its roots came from, but it's grown into so much more. And it's radically different from the initial concept of being kind of a sex ed or Dr. Ruth style thing. It went from being a two-person show to I'm gonna fucking run it solo, and largely out of spite. Like, we planned this thing, you're not here anymore, and I'm just gonna fucking carry it on, kind of like learning German. I noticed that is, they always say you need to learn to love yourself because no one else has to. When it comes to self-betterment and accomplishing things, I find that spite is a much better motivator for me than like wanting to make myself a better human being, because I fucking hate myself with a passion. There's no two ways about it. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'm an awful human being. There's nothing good about me. So what fucking difference does it make if I try to lose weight or save money or learn a language that I'm never gonna fucking use? It's not gonna make me more appealing. It's not gonna make me more interesting. It's not gonna feed that Napoleonic complex I have as far as proving myself. I derive no pleasure from making myself better just for the sake of making myself better. But if I can spite somebody or rub it in, even if they're not even in my life anymore, suddenly I get all kinds of pep to do shit. Like, according to Duolingo, a language that I decided to learn out of fucking spite, I'm now nearly 50% fluent in. Whether or not I actually am, I really doubt I'm that fucking fluent in it. I've made progress. I've made considerable tracked progress where I can, act like a retarded child in a foreign land and kind of be able to get by. Out of spite. Not out of personal desire. I have no, like, I have German heritage, but I don't have, like, this weird sense of, oh, let me track the family lineage, and, you know, this is something I love, it's part of me, it's my culture. No, it's just, this person claimed to speak it, and, I thought it'd be cool to have something to do together, and then it's like, no, well, that's not a thing anymore, so fuck them, I'm going to learn it anyways. I'm going to get better at them at it. It's a matter of, you know, somebody had said, how do you guys do it? How do you stay so motivated that you get up every day and go out and accomplish your goals and get stuff done? And a reply was that the trick is to get so angry at life that you want to kill it. And the way you get even at life or killing it is by becoming better, is by doing these extra things, and that's where the motivation comes from, is like, fuck everything else, I'm gonna do it just to spite it. And that's what gets me going, that's what motivates me, that's what's you know, keeps things going. And it's a really unhealthy way to look at things, like, well, no, I should be doing it for myself. I do want to, you know, be able to travel, and knowing a second language would definitely help with that. And, you know, being 40 pounds lighter would be fantastic. I'd look better. I'd feel better. Having more money in the bank account would make me feel more financially stable. And it's like, no, I'm going to prove you all wrong. I'm going to do these things that you say I can't, even though, you know, you don't say that, but it's bragging rights, essentially. It's me proving that I'm better. And I guess in the long term, it doesn't matter what the motivation is, because essentially, in this specific case, the ends will justify the means. Whatever gets you off your ass and doing something, I guess it's okay. It doesn't matter where that motivation comes from. Like, if it's a thing of, oh, you know, I want to make my partner crazy turned on whenever they see me take off my shirt. Not the, you know, I don't want to make myself healthier. I don't want to, you know, live longer. I just want to make them fucking froth at the loins whenever I take off my shirt. Fuck it. There's your motivation. Run with it. So, I don't know. What is it that motivates you? What brings about the best part of you? What makes you tick and want to do better? Is it spite? Is it just the sense of accomplishment? Like, oh, you know, I want to be able to deadlift more than anybody else in the world. Or is it just the general sense of satisfaction of, like, I can do this thing, here's, you know, what I've accomplished. So there is a common thread there. There is a link. There is something that ultimately breaks down as far as we take. Is it pride? Is pride just the root emotion there, that we've done this thing and now we can bask in the glory of what it is we have accomplished? Maybe pride is the pure motivating factor. Pride for yourself, or actually, yeah, it kind of breaks down to yourself, even if you are spiting somebody else. I don't know. It's an intensely high-minded topic that I've not sat down and done the proper, you know, like, due diligence of putting my thoughts together. Hence the rambling. But, you know, as I was telling the girlfriend, it's like, I have to get these shows out. I am constipated with ideas, and so right now, everything I spew forth is just like the shit dribbling out of my ass. Like, just get it out. It doesn't have to be a healthy shit. It doesn't have to be a big shit. Just get it out. Just start shitting. Just start emptying your bowels and getting the shit into the bowl, and getting that bowl into people's ears. And that's what this is. It's, you know, it's kind of opening up the floodgates and priming it, you know, where you get the lube and you're like lubing up your asshole and you're getting ready for it, and you're just waiting for everything to start flowing normally again, you know, to where you're not within a constant 48 hours of having diarrhea. It's like, no, 3:30's rolled around, it's time for my afternoon shit, because this is the time I shit every day. So, welcome to 2018. Welcome to another year with the Unwashed Asses. I look forward to spending the year with you guys and doing fun, new, exciting things. It's going to be something we do together, and I look forward to it. We had a terrific 2017, a great first year, and it's only going to get better from here. So we will see you next Monday, 9 p.m. Central, the only time zone that matters, for a fun-filled show.
I can feel the end, it's drawing near. It will soon be here. Oh, that much is clear. So shut the doors and turn off the lights. Let us sleep tonight. Let us huddle in the dark. Oh, my lover, you are beautiful, but that beauty comes at such a price. And I know that you'll soon disappear, like the dark and the night.